0, 1. Let's get started.
Why they stopping me?
Bye, crypto bro.
What's going on, everybody? It's that guy again, Ball Deep Crypto, coming at you with the little Stellar XLM piece. I'm going to go over Stellar real quick, what they're doing, and how they're going to be doing things, in my opinion, going forward, versus Ethereum, trash, and the differences between the two, and who they are today and where they're going to be in the future. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I'm just giving it to you. I'm just putting the pieces out there. You can put the puzzle together yourself. You're grown people. Do what you want to do with it. But let's get into it. I'm going to try and make this as short as I can. Now let's talk about it. Stellar. If you look at their TVL, total value locked, it surged 80% in quarter 2 of 2025 to 150 million. It's driven by, obviously, the RWA tokenization and DeFi applications via the Sora bond and the Protocol 23, which is coming into effect in September. So look out for that. Kind of give you an overview here. Franklin Templeton is tokenized, 270 million alone on there. The RWA sector has reached 470 million in tokenized assets and treasuries, and they hope to get that target to 5 billion with the B by the end of the year. People, XLM, out there doing things. Protocol 23, Sora bond, which came into effect last year, really changing the game for Stellar. Let's talk about active wallets. Obviously, there's a grip ton of them. They've got 9.6 million active with 5,000 to 6,000 new addresses daily. Institutional accounts are also adding on with everything else, so there we go. You can see that the wallets are gaining, which means that it's getting traction, it's getting its legging underneath it, and people are starting to come around to Stellar and what it can do. Talking about transaction volume and throughput, we're actually going to get into that a little bit, but it processed over 265 million transactions in 24 hours in August of 2025. Daily transactions average 3 to 5 million with peaks over 7 million. It talks here about, since the Sora bond launch. So there we go. As you can see, the low fee with XLM, 0.00001. Beautiful thing. So we'll get into operations. 1.37 billion operations processed at 427 billion successful transactions to date. XLM circulation stands at 30 billion tokens out of 50 billion. As you know, they burned roughly 55.44 billion, so there's only going to ever be 50 billion of these XLM tokens in supply, which currently are right around, I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was like 39 cents. Whew! Compared to Ethereum at 44,500 roughly. Yikes. Again, as you'll probably see in my videos, I'm just not an Ethereum guy. Used it, not a fan of it. Let's look at some of their major enterprise partnership and use cases. I've spoken about Franklin Templeton. They hold 1.5 trillion in volume AUM. Tokenize roughly 460 billion or $1 million in U.S. Treasury funds on Stellar, saving up to 70% of its cost. I believe I said it before. I've said it to many people that I work with and just around. They did 50,000 transactions, costing them a baseline fee of $1, no matter what they did off the old system. So 50,000, it would cost them $50,000, 50,000 trades just as a baseline, not including the back-end clerical and accounting, yada, yada, yada. Versus $120 it costs them once they tokenize them to do it on Stellar. If you can't see that and see that everybody that's like Franklin Templeton and the benefits of tokenizing assets, it's right there in front of your face. I mean, hello. Wisdom Tree's also on there. They've got 110 billion AUM. They've tokenized 13 funds using the DTCC's secrecy framework. DTCC does 3 quadrillion a year in tokenized assets. In transfers and transactions. They're talking about tokenizing every asset in the world. Like I said, the R3 Corda, which owns secrecy, which uses XTC. Don't get me started on XTC. I love them. Currently roughly around 8 cents. Get some or don't. It's your choice. Not financial advice, but XTC. So it's basically, and then you've got a Wisdom Tree. Like I said, it's RCHAX tokenized. Aberdeen is 150 to 7.3 billion money market fund. It's basically highlighting what RWA scalability and what's going to be happening and what has been happening since the launch of Sorbonne last year. Also, as many of you know, if you don't know, PayPal launched their PYUSD on Stellar in June of 2025, enabling remittances in 170 countries and PayFi ecosystems. PayPal Mafia. I mean, they're in with Plaid. They're in with Stripe. I mean, you know, if you got Societe Generale Forge, it integrated its Euro CV stablecoin for MiCA compliance. So not only are they over here, they're also in there and compliant with the MiCA standards and getting their foothold over in Europe as well. I mean, obviously, crypto is global, not just U.S. based. So, I mean, it looks like Stellar, which, I mean, you know, is forging its compliance and regulatory framework with every country and every person in the world that moves money. So that should be exciting for anybody that's a part of the program that looks at it. Obviously, you've got the partnerships with MoneyGram, which is, you know, they've used with the UNCH as far as getting money to people who need it in war-torn areas or hard-to-reach areas where they can just get to a MoneyGram and take it and convert the Circle USDC into their local currency. So a beautiful thing. They've done 30 million in transactions on that. IBM WorldWire, which obviously used SHX as its stable coin when it ran its test pilot, I believe, in 2019. And as you know, SHX runs on Stellar Rails. Love SHX. Shout out to SHX, Tammy Camp, Sean Bennett. Doing big things over there. But we're talking about Stellar here. Sorry to let my mind get off a little bit. We're talking, and then also they're working with MasterCard. Flutterwave reduces cross-border payments by 70%. Stripe, which I previously just said. MasterCard. I mean, on and on and on. I think Citibank is also involved. I mean, it's Stellar. Jed McCaleb. They're in with everybody. Let's be real about it. As you already know, I've talked about it in a previous video. In the ISO 222, they are compliant with that. So, and it says here that a Salesforce native wallet UI by Web3 enabler integrates Stellar into CRM for 150,000 plus enterprises, including 91% of the Fortune 500. Come on now. Stellar, XLM, it's a player. Now let's get into the Stellar XLM versus Ethereum. Finality time and cost of transactions. Now the difference between it is obviously Sorbonne's come out, so now they are going to be a player in the RWA tokenization field, plus the DeFi network, which obviously Ethereum dominates, which I don't see why. I've used it. It's expensive, slow, not a fan. But again, I think that in the future, institutions and institutional people are going to be using Stellar for what I'm about to cover here. But again, make your own decision. You know, you're Ethereum homer, you know what I mean? Ride that hog. I don't care. Not me. Not going to do it. So you can't sell me on it. I've used it. You know, I've got real use case in it. Not a fan. Anyways, Stellar uses SCP, the Stellar Consensus Protocol, and it achieves finality in 3 to 5 seconds. Now, with the Protocol 23 in the quarter 3 of 2025, which is September, which is right around the corner, it aims to maintain or improve that speed through Sorbonne, even with higher throughput. They say that the Protocol 23 upgrade is going to increase it to 5,000 TPS per second, so transactions per second. Now, Ethereum uses a proof of stake, POS, with a finality time of 12 to 14 seconds under normal conditions, and everybody's used it knows that sometimes it's not normal, it's congested, it's high, blah, 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 blah. I've used it. Not a fan. Now, they also offer a layer 2 solution through Optimism and Arbitrum, and may add a latency for cross-layer settlement. Now, when it says here, what Grok says is the comparison is Stellar's finality is 2 to 4 times faster than Ethereum's, making it better suited for enterprise use case like real-time payments and tokenized asset transfers. Again, when you are a big corporation, like we talked about just a second ago with the DTCC, when they ran Project Ion, they were doing it as a test net with R3 Corda using the XTC as a settlement token, by the way, XTC. They were running 100,000 to, I think it peaked at 160,000 transactions per day. So when you're talking about that kind of volume and everything else, faster finality, cheaper cost, pennies and fractions of pennies add up, especially when they're cents. They add into dollars, and dollars don't make sense when it's talking about this kind of volume, talking about billions potentially in excess fees that aren't necessary, in my opinion. I said just spitballing here. Now Stellar's base fee is, as you can see, 4 zeros and a 1, 0.4 zeros and a 1, so very fraction of a cent. Roughly at 0.10 to 20 cents XLM, and roughly, a typical transaction, 1 to 2 operations cost nothing, next to nothing. Now, if we were to use a smart contract comparison using Sorbonne, it's slightly higher, but still it's only 0.001. Fees are fixed and predictable, designed for low-cost, high-volume enterprise use, i.e. remittances and RWA tokenization, which obviously we know. You've got Larry Fink out there, you've got BlackRock talking about they want to tokenize every asset in the world, and they will. I mean, let's go into that. If you can't see that, have fun and never land. You know what I mean? With Peter Pan, because it's happening. You and I don't pick that, unfortunately. They do, and they're going to do it. As you can see with the cost comparisons, the finalities, being able to move money like they want to move money, it's coming. We're early. So Ethereum's gas fees vary with network demand. Trash. Like I said, I've used it. No. I've got people like, oh, I got some stuff on Ethereum, or I got to use gas fees, but I don't want to. The fees are so high. It's just like I don't want to do it. I don't want to take it off and transfer to someone else. I mean, think about that. You think that institutions and the future is like, oh, these gas fees. Come on now. Where all the green people at? Come on now. Anywho, you've got complex transactions can cost $1 to $10. Layer 2 solutions reduce it to 0.01 to 10 cents, but add roll-up fees. So even at that layer 2 solution, you're talking still about a penny to 10 cents. Oh, it's just a penny. No, when you're moving like the volume they're going to be moving daily, and the way that they're going to move it in the future, penny and 10 cents is a lot more than 0.001. 1/100,000th of a penny. It's just like it says here. Stellar's costs are 100,000 times cheaper than Ethereum's mainnet for basic transfers and remain significantly lower against Layer 2 solutions, making it ideal for enterprise-grade micropayments and high-frequency transactions. Like I said, down here shows you 12 to 14, 28 cents on mainnet, 0.01 to 10 cents on Layer 2, and look at just the mainnet there, and look at the finality time. Come on now, people. Look at it. It's right there in front of your eyes. These people are all about dollars and cents, and that is significant savings, significant costs, and money that is going to be used for other things over, a year, over a decade. But do your own research. That's why you're here. Probably just think of what I think. Now let's talk about the near cost finality and Ethereum's 12 configuration requirement versus Stellar. As we talked about here, 3 to 5 seconds. Now, just give you a little context, Stellar process 2 to 3 million transactions daily with finality consistently at 3 to 5 seconds. As we've already reported about there, the Sorbonne smart contract platform fully live in 2024 maintained this speed even with increased RWA and DeFi activity. TVL at 120, which we already talked about, increased 80% with the goal of 5 billion by the end of the year. Protocol upgrades in Q1 ensure low latency with no significant congestion reported. So Sorbonne's up, it's running, and it is efficient, very efficient, and it's coming for you, ETH. Coming for that ass, boy. Sorry, my bad. Got a little talking to myself in my room. It's a pretty boring life, let me tell you. Stellar's finality is immediate. upon confirmation, and the cost is negligible, making it near cost for efficiencies or for enterprises. Sorry. For example, a tokenized asset transfer or cross-border payment achieves finality in under 5 seconds without additional fees for faster processing. So you get it, you buy it, you know what it is. You're not getting screwed on the back end. There's not any add-on fees. There's no small, like, you know, when a contract, the small words in the contract. No. What you see is what you get, and it's fast, it's efficient, it's cheap. Now, Ethereum uses proof of stake, which we already talked about. They averaged 1.1 million transactions daily compared to Stellar, which is doing 2 to 3. So Stellar's already doing more transactions daily, with block time stable at 12 seconds. Okay. Now, for finality for a single transaction was 12 to 14 seconds due to validator finalization and 2 epochs. However, the 12 configuration standard common for institutional use, which is exactly what Stellar is trying to do and scale to, is institutional use. You know, not only is it better for peer-to-peer and cheaper, institutionally wise, it's faster and cheaper because it says here that it extends to 144 seconds. And layer 2 solutions, like we talked about, Arbitrum and Optimism, have faster configurations, 1 to 2 seconds compared to the 3 to 5. And we're talking about seconds. Who gives a flip about a couple seconds? But required mainnet settlement, minutes to hours, which could delay effective finality for cross-layer enterprise use. And I believe that Ethereum, I don't have it pulled up right here, it does 12 TPS compared to 5,000 TPS. When you're talking about scale, that is going to cause congestions. That is going to cause delays. If you were scaling at the level that Stellar is compared to Ethereum, and when it grows and it becomes more mainstream and everybody starts using it, 12 TPS is like Bitcoin slow. I don't know how they're going to fix that, if they've got an upgrade coming. I couldn't tell you. And I should have probably done a little bit of dive into it. I really was just thinking about, you know, this. But thinking about that on a large scale, that's crazy. That's nuts. 12 transactions per second? That's like dial-up. We're living in the high-speed internet age. Get shit together, Ethereum. Get it together. Stellar's finality is 3 to 5 seconds. We're going to do a comparison here, for which is 30 to 48 times faster than Ethereum's 12 configuration finality. For enterprise needing rapid, irreversible transactions, Stellar's offered near instant finality, while Ethereum's 12 configuration standard added significant latency. We already talked about the cost. In conclusion, we'll just talk about that. In Q1 of 2025, Stellar outperformed Ethereum for enterprise adoption in terms of finality and cost. Stellar's near-cost finality was a clear advantage for real-time, cost-sensitive use case, while Ethereum's 12 confirmation standard prioritized security over speed, better fitting decentralized applications with higher tolerance for latency and cost. So there you have it. It's right there on the screen, giving you that comparison. It's stellar. I love it. Not financial advice. Do your own research. But I'm going to get in this video with that. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, like and subscribe. If you didn't, sorry. You're an Ethereum homer. I can't help you. I'm an XLM homer. We're just different sides of the road here on that one. You're not going to change me. I'm not going to change you. But I wanted to put it out there, give some heads up to people who didn't know. Maybe they wanted to know. Maybe they're like, oh, what is this? What's the difference? I just know that the news always talks about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I can't do it if the news is talking about it because I don't feel like the news is pushing me to be the best version that I can be. I feel like they're distracting me from what's really happening. And in my opinion, stellar. That's what's really happening. But I hope you guys all have a great day. And girls, ladies, if you're out there, shout out to you. Crypto world. Like I always say, chase a check, never chase a big.
Bye, crypto bro.